Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to be doing something a little bit different.
Oh,
Instead of our usual stack of articles,
okay.
we're going to be diving into a book
Right,
that's been making waves.
right.
It's called the Student Leadership Challenge.
Interesting.
You might be thinking,
Yeah.
student leadership, is this some kind of time warp back to high school?
Aha, not quite. This book is surprisingly relevant
Okay.
for anyone, regardless of where they are in their career or life.
Right.
You can think of it as like a masterclass on
Yeah.
how to make a real impact, distilled from the experiences of some truly inspiring young leaders.
Okay, that's intriguing. So it's not just about running for class president or organizing the school dance.
Definitely not. The
Yeah.
book is structured around something called
Oh, yeah.
the 5 practices of exemplary leadership.
Mhm.
And these practices are applicable to any situation where you're trying to make a difference. Whether you're leading a team at work or heading up a community project or even just trying to motivate yourself to achieve a personal goal,
Yeah.
these practices can be game changers.
All right, I'm hooked.
Yeah.
Tell me more about these 5 practices.
Well, the first one is model the way.
Okay.
And it's all about aligning your actions with your values.
Right.
The book kicks off with this amazing story
Okay.
about a student in Australia
Mhm.
named Madeline Price.
Madeline Price. Okay.
Yeah.
She saw a problem in her community,
Okay,
gender inequality,
right.
and decided to do something about it.
Mm.
She started this organization
Okay.
called the One Woman Project
Oh,
to tackle the issue head on.
wow. That's impressive. Starting an entire organization while still a student. What's the takeaway for someone like me who's maybe a bit further along in their career?
What's fascinating is that Madeline
Yeah.
and many of the student leaders featured in the book
Mm.
didn't wait for permission or a fancy title to start leading.
Right.
They saw a need.
They felt passionate about something.
Yeah.
And they just went for it.
Yeah.
The book argues that we can all do that no matter what stage of life we're in.
So it's about taking initiative even if you don't feel like you're in charge.
Exactly. And a big part of that is figuring out what your core values are, those non-negotiables that drive your decisions and actions.
Mm-hmm.
The book has some great exercises for helping you define those values.
Okay.
And it stresses the importance of making sure your actions are aligned with what you say you believe in.
It makes a lot of sense. It's like that saying, actions speak louder than words.
Right.
If you want to inspire others, you have to walk the talk.
Precisely. And the book dives into all sorts of fascinating ways
Okay.
that these young leaders have done just that, from launching innovative projects to challenging the status quo to creating real change in their communities.
Okay, you've definitely piqued my curiosity. What's the next practice?
The second practice is inspire a shared vision. And it's all about painting a picture of a brighter future that everyone can get excited about.
I can imagine that's especially important for young leaders who are trying to rally their peers around a cause.
Absolutely. And the book uses this brilliant analogy
Okay.
of driving in fog
Oh.
to illustrate the importance of a shared vision.
Hmm.
Just like a driver needs to be able to see beyond the immediate fog to navigate safely,
Yeah,
a leader needs to help people see beyond the present challenges
right.
and focus on a future they can all work towards.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
So how do these student leaders actually go about inspiring that shared vision? Do they have any secret strategies?
Well, I don't want to give too much away, but
Yeah.
let's just say there are some incredibly creative approaches showcased in the book.
Right.
One story that really stood out to me
Yeah.
was about a student named Divya Pari
Divya party.
who led the team behind Nucleo magazine.
Okay.
She had this vision of taking the magazine to a whole new level,
Mm-hmm.
and she inspired her team to achieve some incredible things.
Ooh. I'm getting a sense that this book is full of surprises. I'm definitely adding it to my reading list.
You won't be disappointed. It's packed with inspiring stories and practical advice that can be applied to any area of life.
Okay, so we've got model the way and inspire a shared vision. What's the third practice?
The third practice is challenge the process, and this one really resonated with me.
Okay.
It's all about pushing boundaries,
Right.
questioning assumptions,
Yeah.
and being willing to try new things, even if it means taking a risk.
That sounds a bit daunting,
Right.
especially for someone like me who prefers things to be predictable.
Huh.
But I guess that's where the challenge comes in, right?
Exactly. And the book does a fantastic job of reframing challenge
Okay.
as something exciting,
Right.
an opportunity for growth and innovation.
Yeah.
It emphasizes that every single success story in the book,
Hmm.
every time one of these student leaders achieved something truly remarkable, it involved some kind of change from the status quo.
So it's about stepping outside of your comfort zone, being willing to experiment,
Yeah,
and maybe even fail along the way.
precisely. And the book highlights
Yeah.
this concept called outsight,
Outside.
which is all about seeking inspiration and ideas from outside your usual experience. It could be
Yeah.
anything from attending a conference in a completely different field
Hmm.
to just having coffee with someone who
Yeah.
has a totally different perspective than your own.
I like that. It's like expanding your horizons and getting a fresh perspective on things.
Yeah,
The book wouldn't happen to have any tips on how to actually cultivate outside, would it?
it does. And some of the examples are pretty surprising.
Oh, really?
I don't want to spoil the fun.
Okay.
But let's just say it involves everything from studying the habits of ants
Wow.
to exploring ancient ruins.
Wow. Okay. Now I'm really intrigued. It sounds like this book is full of unexpected insights.
It is. And it's not just about the big revolutionary changes either. The book also emphasizes the importance of celebrating small wins
Oh.
and using those small successes to build momentum.
That makes sense. It's easy to get discouraged when you're focused on some huge, overwhelming goal.
Right.
But if you can break it down into smaller steps and celebrate those milestones along the way,
Yeah.
it can feel much more achievable.
Exactly. And the book is full of examples of how these student leaders have done just that,
Okay.
using small wins to fuel their progress and inspire those around them.
Okay. You've definitely sold me on this book. I'm adding it to my must-read list, ASAP. What's the fourth practice?
The fourth practice is enable others to act.
Okay.
And it's all about empowering the people around you
Mhm.
to step up, take
Yeah.
ownership,
Yeah.
and contribute their talents.
That sounds like a crucial aspect of leadership, especially if you're working with a team.
It is. And the book dives deep
Okay.
into the importance of fostering collaboration,
Right.
building trust,
Right.
and creating an environment where everyone feels valued,
Yeah.
respected,
Mhm.
and empowered to do their best work.
I'm curious to learn more about how these student leaders have actually put that into practice.
Yeah.
Did any particular stories stand out to you?
Well, there's one story about a soccer player
Okay.
named Ike
Ike, all right.
who faced a really tough decision
Mhm.
whether to go pro right away or stay in school.
Okay.
And what I loved about this story
Yeah.
was that he didn't make the decision in isolation.
Right.
He reached out to his teammates,
Okay.
his coach,
Yeah.
his family,
Right.
and really sought out diverse perspectives
Uh-huh.
before making a choice.
That's a great example of how leadership is about more than just making decisions yourself.
Right.
It's about building relationships,
Yeah.
seeking input,
Mm-hmm.
and empowering others to be part of the process.
Exactly. And the book is full of inspiring examples like that,
Okay.
showing how these young leaders have created cultures of collaboration and empowerment within their teams and organizations.
Okay, on to the fifth and final practice. What is it?
The fifth practice is encourage the heart. And it might sound a bit touchy-feely,
Okay.
but it's actually incredibly powerful.
Right.
It's all about celebrating victories,
Mm-hmm.
recognizing contributions,
Yeah.
and creating a culture of appreciation.
I can see how that would be motivating, especially for younger people who are just starting out in their leadership journeys.
Absolutely. And the book argues that it's important for leaders of all ages.
Okay.
It's about creating a sense of belonging,
Right.
fostering a positive team spirit,
Mm-hmm.
and reminding people why their work matters.
So it's not just about giving out trophies or throwing parties.
Right.
It's about genuine appreciation and recognition.
Precisely. And the book shares some really creative ways
Seriously?
that these student leaders have done just that.
Right.
For example, there's a story about a success coach
Mm-hmm.
named Kadesha
Kadesha.
who worked with students who were struggling academically. She had this amazing ability to see the potential in each student,
Yeah.
even when they couldn't see it themselves.
I love that. It sounds like she was not only a coach, but also a cheerleader.
Yeah.
Someone who could help those students believe in themselves.
Exactly. And she did it through small gestures, personalized notes,
Yeah.
and genuine expressions of appreciation.
Yeah.
The book emphasizes that encouragement doesn't have to be some grand, over-the-top display.
Right.
Sometimes the smallest gestures can have the biggest impact.
That's a great reminder. It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day grind
Yeah.
and forget to take the time to appreciate the people around us.
It is. And this book does a fantastic job
Okay.
of highlighting the importance of those small moments of recognition and encouragement.
Well, you've definitely convinced me that this book is worth checking out.
Uh-huh.
I'm curious, after diving deep into all these inspiring stories and leadership practices,
Yeah.
what's the one key takeaway you'd want listeners to walk away with?
I think the biggest takeaway is that leadership isn't about a title or a position. It's
Yeah.
about a mindset, a
Mm.
set of choices we make every day
Mm.
to step up, make a difference, and inspire those around us.
Yeah.
And this book shows that anyone can do that, regardless of age or experience.
That's a really empowering message. It sounds like this book is a must-read for anyone who wants to make a positive impact,
Yeah,
whether they're leading a team, a community project, or just their own life.
absolutely. It's a quick, inspiring read
Okay.
that's packed with practical advice and real-world examples.
Mm-hmm.
I think anyone who reads it will come away feeling energized and motivated to make a difference.
I can't wait to dive in. Thanks for sharing your insights
Oh, of course.
and for piquing my curiosity about the Student Leadership Challenge.
Yeah.
I have a feeling this book is going to spark a lot of great conversations
Right.
and inspire some amazing things.
I think so too.
To our listeners, if you're looking for a dose of inspiration and some practical guidance on how to make a difference in the world,
Mm-hmm.
definitely check out the Student Leadership Challenge. Happy reading.